Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/AckleyAttack44227TV to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Yeah, just the way I like it by far. Yeah, I guess I really do admire the hard-working effort I did to really make this Christmas tree look good, bud. Really definitely looking awesome. Oh, hi! Sorry about that. I didn't see you there for a moment, so yeah, anyways, hey guys, this is SamAttack4427 here with a very special video for all of you guys, and, well, if you couldn't tell with, of course, me next to my Christmas tree, let alone me and my Christmas barber cosplay once again, like I do every year. Though I guess I really do admire the brand new reindeer antler headband that I got not too long ago. It actually still works quite well with, of course, this cosplay. So yeah, but anyways, Christmas is right around the corner, and, well, what's not to love about being part of this incredible time of the year? Everywhere you go, Christmas always seems to pop up in every corner. And if anything, it's always a good reason. It's become everyone's favorite holiday of all time, even myself if you ask me. And if you were to ask on why that is exactly, well, it's for many reasons. From Santa Claus to snowflakes, the decorations and lights, just to name a few. But we all know Christmas is the time of giving, and having the sense of love, tradition, and togetherness is always what makes it such a great time. And let's not forget, every year, if you're a fan of movies, TV, just to name a few, we always sit down and look forward to a nice Christmas special or Christmas movie to get us pumped up for this legendary holiday, whether for better or worse. But regardless on how you viewed them whenever they come out every year, they've always become a staple during this time of year. So, given to how well I did finally reviewing the 2020 Witches movie a couple months ago, which was a long time coming, but I digress, I've been meaning to do this one as a really interesting follow-up for this special occasion. And surprisingly enough, it's on another HBO Max exclusive that I actually got to see not too long ago. So with that being said, I think it's time to get ourselves in for the Christmas spirit with, well, pretty much with a video game console in our hands. Yeah, I don't know why, I need a good segue for this review, but still, I think it's time to get ourselves in as we're here to talk about 8-Bit Christmas. Yep, I think it makes sense for me to talk about this one. Released exclusively onto HBO Max in, thankfully, the redemption year after 2020, which is 2021, this film has got a lot of interest from people right when the trailer dropped, and for good reason.
Everyone loved the idea it was going for and has the making of a new Christmas classic, and thankfully, when it came out, it delivered on that. Given to us from the director of The F Word. No, not that one, but man, that would have been awesome. Much better, thank you. Scoring quite well with critics and audiences, and even landing a pretty nice 84% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie quickly gained a pretty nice following, with people saying that it has the making of a new Christmas classic.
And if you know me, I always love what this movie is providing, and I'm glad to see that it's gained the reputation by far. But that would lead to, of course, the ultimate question. How does it compare to the 2020 Witches movie?
Well, unlike The Witches, where it has the making of being a theatrically released movie on the big screen, but had to go into streaming because of the pandemic, this movie was, as you can guess, made as a movie released exclusively to streaming. Which to me, I don't see it as a bad thing. However, the one thing it does have in common with The Witches that came out the year before is that, thankfully for us physical media fans, it did get itself a DVD release sometime later. And what's even better is that we didn't wait 2 years after the film came out for it, we had to wait almost a year for it to come out, which doesn't sound too bad on my part. So given to all of that, and especially during this time of year, I felt that I'd like to go over this one to see if it has the making of being a pretty solid Christmas movie, which is exactly what I'm gonna do in this video.
So given to me in this outfit, although if it was an adaptation of the Nutcracker, I know I'll make great usage of one of my ballet cosplays. But hey, me and Trainboy54 already got our own Nutcracker adaptation being released, so there's that. I say it'll be perfect for me to talk about this movie in great detail. So, what is it about this movie that'll get us into the holiday spirit? Well, let's grab our game controller and our hot chocolate mugs, and let's find out for ourselves.
Now, the plot for this movie is actually a pretty simple one and does have some great potential for this one. Taking place during the late 80s, it centers around an 11-year-old kid named Jake Doyle as he and his friends set out in all sorts of schemes and misadventures to get themselves the one thing every kid in the 80s back then wanted for Christmas. What, you may ask? Why a Nintendo Entertainment System, of course. But it's more than just any video game console, as described by an adult Jake played by Neil Patrick Harris.
A maze of rubber wiring and electronic intelligence so advanced it was deemed not a video game, but an 8-bit entertainment system.
So now Jake and his friends has to do whatever it takes to get himself an NES console for himself as a Christmas present, even if it does mean getting into trouble while doing so.
So as you may have guessed, the story for this movie does seem simple and, well, it's basically pretty much a new spin on something we're quite familiar with.
When I looked over what they got with the story for this one, I think the best way to describe this movie's story is basically a Christmas story mixed in with The Wizard. And to be honest, I really like what they were going for with this one. Basically, if you have seen A Christmas Story for yourself, you do know how the story about a kid wanting to get a Christmas present he really wanted and has to do everything in his power to get it. Which is not too bad for a plot, so given to this, it has been done before, but again, I do love on how they decided to go for a new spin on this one. With the difference being the time period and the gift being showcased. And at the time, it does make sense, because back in the 80s, Nintendo was dominating the video game industry and changed it forever with the NES back in the day, and even nowadays. Especially when working their way to multiple other consoles that came out years later. From the SNES that followed afterwards, to present day with the Nintendo Switch and the very recent Nintendo Switch 2. Even though I wish the latter wasn't too expensive for me to afford one. So given to what I'm seeing, I do love what they were going for with this one. Plus, even as someone who is a longtime Nintendo fan, I do somehow relate to it in a way. Sure, I may not be able to have any of the retro game systems that Nintendo made, aside from my Super Nintendo that I currently have, nor even any other game system back in the day, I think they actually have an interesting angle with this one. Sure, I too felt some parts in it does kind of derail the flick from being a masterpiece, but it is quite interesting to witness.
Also, one thing I should bring up is that, well, aside from some nice themes and ideas that are presented, I do love, of course, the nice angle they went with outside of all of this.
For one thing is that in a good number of areas outside of what we're seeing from the kids' perspective, I do love on how we get to see the parents' perspective as well, as they didn't want their kids to get a Nintendo because they think video games in general would basically change and ruin their lives, which I highly doubt if that is the case. But again, it does play out because, if anything, video games can be very divisive, which has gone on back then and even nowadays. It can be tough to get that aspect down, but they nailed it perfectly. But part of that is mainly coming from Jake's parents, who seem way too reluctant to have Jake own and play a Nintendo system for himself. To which I know is what I expected because, well, I'm sure any parent can be reluctant on anything. But I digress. So regardless on all of that, it does showcase some interesting challenges that our main characters need to overcome in order to get what they want, even if no one is on board with it outside of it. So given to all of that, the plot for this movie really has a lot going for, especially since I forgot to mention, taking everything that was showcased by the original book from the author and the film screenwriter, Kevin Jakubowski, to really fit within the film's narrative.
So for while the film did a nice job with the story, I can name a few things that really does help in making this movie work, and boy, there is quite a lot they went with.
Like, for one thing, I do love on what they went for with the themes and ideas for this movie and really capture the look and feel on how it was like back in the 80s. Because yeah, with not just the original NES being a big deal back then, alongside other products that tied into it, to which I do love on how they acknowledged that the Power Glove for it sucked.
We thought he was just making excuses, being a sore loser. But we'd later realize a horror that defined our generation. The Power Glove sucked.
Well, if that's the case, might as well play this one.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
Hey, makes sense to me. Boy, I never thought I'd see the day that I referenced that in this review on this movie.
But you also had kids acting like adults, adults acting like kids, and complaining about nothing in this situation, with the adults trying to prevent kids from playing video games, with the kids trying to play video games anyways, which also caused one kid's dog to get crushed by a TV out of nowhere, just to name a few. But hey,
it was the 80s. Stuff got real.
Yep, sounds about right. Well, technically I was born in the mid-90s and didn't grow up in that decade. But I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people I know of who actually did grow up and could probably relate to that in a nutshell. But hey, maybe it's just me.
but still, this film does do a nice job in capturing the time period quite well and how it was like back in the day, especially with the subject matter they're pulling off, which I do find quite fascinating. Also, with the way that it was presenting itself, I also do love on how the whole story for this movie is being told by Neil Patrick Harris playing a much older Jake to his daughter that we do keep coming back to, which really does help flow with the narrative in addition. Just the way he is telling his whole story while being played out does make it quite interesting and get ourselves in with the moral that it's presented. Which I should also notice that I do love the on-again, off-again relationship being showcased by both Jake and his father in a good number of scenes they had together, and it does show the impact on what it was going for. And by the time we do get to the ending of this film, it does have a good way it wanted to go for.
I'll even say right now is that, well, on top of everything that I've mentioned, including the characters being quite interesting, the rest of the film actually does have some good stuff in it.
Like, for what it is, I think this film really does a nice job bringing in some good actors to play all these roles, and they did their jobs very well. I've previously mentioned Neil Patrick Harris earlier, who I do believe really brought his A-game in this, given to how much screen time he has, but also the kid who plays Jake in this actually did a nice job here, and he really nailed it by far. You can tell from the way he acts, from being excited, to determined, to sad, to angry, to upbeat. You connect with him pretty well and want to see him try his best to get what he wants. It really helps drive his character quite well, and I'm amazed on how it's presented here. Plus, I even do like some performances from a couple of other standouts they brought in, like Steve Zahn and David Cross, who I do think really nailed their roles by far. I don't know why I thought of that, but maybe it's the commitment they did to really try to work around the material given to them, which really does help out in the long run. Not just that, but I even do dig the nice themes that this movie is providing, like with not just the whole 80s setting, but also having a nice nostalgic and humorous look on any kid who grew up in the 80s back then, alongside having a nice bond with your friends and siblings, which is quite nice to witness, and even showing parental love, which has really grown and evolved since the movie started. And plus, going into a little bit of spoilers with this movie, I even liked on how well the movie ended, showing that despite Jake not getting a Nintendo Entertainment System that he's been fighting so hard to get throughout the movie, he did end up getting a nice treehouse that his dad has been working on throughout most of the movie, which doesn't seem like much, but it does show that in Jake's mind that he suddenly realized that the adventure and love he's been going throughout the entire movie is the real gifts to him, which I do feel is actually nice and much needed in this case. They did showcase that moral early on beforehand, which I felt was much needed, and I'm glad they showcased it all on here. That even though you wouldn't get the Christmas gift you wanted, you'll still have your loved ones, both physically and mentally, that can help keep you in the Christmas spirit, and this movie really showcased that very well.
So yeah, with everything that I just said, I think it'll get you the idea on what I'm getting across about this movie, and well, for what it is, I say it really does show that it is actually quite a nice one to watch, and well, I say it is worth it.
So with that said, I think it'll sum up on how I felt about this movie. Overall, 8-Bit Christmas really is a very creative and nicely done Christmas movie that really does deserve to be on there to get yourself in the Christmas spirit. You can tell they really pulled off a lot of hard work and effort to make this one work, and they did the job very well. Now granted, not all of it is perfect, and I do felt that there are plenty of problems in this movie that did prevent it from being such a great one, but with what it has provided to make it good, I say it did the job very well. Do I agree with plenty of people calling it a new Christmas classic at this time? Well, yes, but only barely. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it for what it is, but with a few issues I can spot here and there that I wish I could list, but can't because it'll take all day, I think it did prevent it from being by all means, a perfect movie, let alone a masterpiece. But do I think it's still worth a recommendation on my part? Actually, yes. Sure, it may not be perfect, but I still think it really is a good one to check out, especially during this time of year. So if that's something you like to watch around Christmas, I do think this movie is worth the watch. If you're curious to see it for yourself, it's currently available to watch on HBO Max, alongside plenty of other platforms such as Hulu, Amazon Prime, Google Play, Fandango at Home, just to name a few. Or if you don't have an HBO Max subscription like I do, then not to worry, it's also available on DVD for you to pick up and watch that way. Trust me, I'm lucky to still have my copy after I bought it, and it's worth the watch, and it'll help you in the long run to keep physical media alive. So if you're looking for a little something that'll get you into the holiday spirit, then 8-Bit Christmas is a good one to check out. It may not be perfect, but it is without a doubt a pretty nice Christmas movie to check out, not only to get you into the holiday spirit, but do so with a video game controller on hand.
So with that said, that's pretty much all that I can say about this movie for all of you. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and well, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of 8-Bit Christmas if you have seen it for yourself? Let me know down in the comments down below for sure. So yeah, I guess that's all that I can say of course that front. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and well, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Now, if you'll excuse me... Oh! My beef Wellington is ready, so yeah. Now I know what to serve for a Christmas dinner tonight, so yeah, I'll leave you at that. Take care, guys.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyTackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is AckleyTack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyTackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.